Back in the KSI Huddle, it's an opportunity to ask questions. No such thing as a irrelevant question. We'll do our best to serve you, and we'll stop as soon as the questions are exhausted. So who's first?
Sort of, I have a question for Mike.
Did you apologise, David? I believe you just said sorry. You didn't say sorry. Oh, sort of. Okay. Just have a bit of apology. Keep going. Okay.
I'm happy to answer a sort of question.
I have a firm question for you. With your talk, you discussed a lot about establishing a culture and allowing your athletes to find, or guiding your athletes, in that culture. At what point do you kind of, spoon feed is not the right word, but kind of gently push versus come and say, hey, this is how we're going to do it? Like when you start seeing it get kind of getting out of hand, like where do you go from the point of encouraging the formation of a culture versus saying this is how we have to do it?
So it's really about establishing a standard, right? And being firm on that standard. So you establish the standard in a way and at a level that everyone can achieve, and then you work to go from there. Okay? So an example may be if you would establish a standard that's way too high, and you've got people that can't come close to that standard, you'll have more that fall off, and you might not gain any traction. That's the challenge. It's just the choice that you have to make. So you might not gain any traction and any forward momentum. So if I come in with a group, and there'll be things that you do in the early stages of your coaching that you might never have to do again. So you can come into a group, set a standard that's achievable, right? And then once you've established that standard, you can continue to raise it over time.
So cultural change is also timeline dependent. If you've got a short period of time, you have to bang it a bit harder. It's not always effective long term. It's best if you have time to do a little bit more progress.
I have a question for Mike about having being responsible for a strength and conditioning, athletic preparation, and athletic enhancement environment for the entire college. Obviously, you have some programs that are successful and some that weren't as successful. Yet you're training in both of them. I'm wondering what common denominator you saw in the teams that had winning records, and maybe not just one given year, but maybe every college has their successful programs and their rebuilding programs.
Well, I think that's a true measurement of success is their consistency in achieving something. That's when the culture is established. That's when there's consistency in coaching. That's when you have you've got that kind of autonomy throughout. The programs that are less successful or have years that are really erratic. They're up one year, they're down another. You don't have those cultures. You don't have that continuity from year to year, and that's a coaching challenge. It's not necessarily a team or a personnel challenge.
So was there a dominant or obvious coaching trait, either from an individual head coach or the staff, that you saw that, man, these guys get it, or these girls get it, and this is going to be fun working with this culture that this coach is trying to produce?
When you say guys and girls get it, is that the athlete or is that the coach?
The coach and the staff. The coach and the staff.
Okay. With the coach, it's their openness as a person to learning and seeing things. As a physical preparation coach, we talked about it. We have the benefit of probably spending the most time with the athletes. So spending more time with the athletes, your relationships with the athletes run a lot deeper. So when a coach is open to learning as a result of the relationships that I have with athletes, they probably stand the best chance. Do you remember all of that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Excellent.
In the world of tension reducing, you guys consider meditation in that arena?
What do you think?
I would venture yes, but I'm interested to hear your opinion on it,
Why?
because you're Yankee. Well, I mean,
That's good, that's good, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's meditation?
Meditation is,
Because whenever we dialogue, it's important we're on common ground on definition.
yeah, okay, no, that's good, that's good. I would consider meditation, just, a specific time where you are sitting down, quieting your mind. I mean, it can, some people suggest, focusing on something, some people suggest emptying your mind. I mean, different things
So the
work.
common denominator, there's one common denominator in all definitions, what's that?
Taking a amount of time to sit down and quiet your mind in some manner.
Well, there's two, there's time and quietness, which one is it? What's the most common denominator?
Quietness.
Fantastic, so basically zipping, your mouth is shut. Yeah? Is that, are we good with that being the most common denominator in meditation?
Yes.
Okay. So there are many schools of thought as far as the specifics of meditation. We have strategies that I don't intend to expand upon at this level. We have strategies that would fall within the majority of definitions, and they're used extensively. But we don't call them that. Just to be real clear, we were doing things like control drills before the word Pilates became known. We were doing stretching before the word yoga became popular. So I'm very conscious not to have what we've organically evolved with to be perceived as synonymous with buzzwords. And I'm not critical of Pilates, yoga and meditation.
Right.
It's just the public perception of them as an activity. We try to avoid that the stereotypical interpretation.
Like mobility and
Yeah,
flexibility.
that shit, yeah. So, it is a significant part of recovery. I will give you one example, however. We do not allow music in our training environment, which is just something I can, and that's not always been popular. Athletes who want to rebel will contest that, and I say, you can put an earphone in if that's your choice. But nothing by an individual is allowed to damage the cultural intent. An individual has choice, the culture does not. So that's something we can expand on, definitely. But not, I mean, my question again to you, you raising that, I mean, would you have asked me that question 20 years ago? You don't have to answer, but you understand where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
When I get questions that are reflective of dominant trends, then I probably struggle a little bit to retain my cynicism. Because our goal is to be, to provide the best opportunities for the athlete to succeed, and to do so we need to be so far ahead of the curve
Yeah.
that when people start raising things that we've been doing for a long, long time, the best thing we can do is keep a straight face.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. I
But
mean,
yes, it's a big part.
yeah, I've been experimenting with meditation since about the mid-90s, so I guess I would have 20 years ago.
Excellent.
But, yeah, I was just curious,
Yeah.
in the world of tension reducing, there's not, the options are, or not as many options there are for tension producing things, or at least in my
I'm glad you clarified that. Do you understand? The extension of that sentence was very important. The disclaimer you just added was critical.
yeah,
Because initially, as a statement of fact, in isolation, it would have been something that would be warranting further discussion. But I'm glad you clarified that. So what's your mind and what's your knowledge base is a reflection of mainstream, and you're completely accurate with that statement. But that's not a statement that I would share, because we have different tool to draw from. Because as you understand, we just don't talk about recovery, and there are many tools.
yeah.
Excellent, great stuff.
You mentioned earlier about that KSI coach can pretty much help with any sport. So is there a basic philosophy for the GPP? What would it say? What would that For strength training, what would that be?
For strengthening, relative to sport or strengthening in general?
I guess it would be, because the GPP is for non-specific, so let's say for a GPP for combat sports.
Right. The common theme for all GPPs, and Mitchell did touch upon that in his presentation, the common theme for all GPPs is to do the things that we're not able to do during the competitive period that will serve us in the competitive period and long term. So if there's something that needs to be done with priority, in other words, we need to pull back on our sport-specific activities, and we know that we wouldn't want to turn around and compete, in that frame, because we may lose touch a little bit. So we place the highest competitive requirements in maintenance, and we focus on the most non-specific yet still serving qualities. So what I typically do with athletes is seek to have a very solid GPPs early in their career, in the recognition that as their qualification advances, as they get better and better, that their GPP will be shorter and more irregular. So our first few GPPs are a massive investment in the future, massive investment, and they take years and years to come through. But they're just beautiful things. Nothing changes an athlete more than a GPP. And as I said, it's not always apparent immediately, because you need time for the qualities from the GPP to be mixed with the specific sporting qualities to come through. But it doesn't take long for them to shine. And athletes who do not apply a successful, effective GPP will rarely see significant performance enhancement from year to year. So the sacrificing of a GPP is very common. And I can understand it at the high level with an athlete who's paid their dues. But I cannot understand it with any athlete who has not paid their dues at GPP. In other words, you will not change adequately unless you have a GPP. And the definition of a GPP for us is a de-emphasizing of your specific qualities. You're allowed to stay in touch, but that's it. And that's something that some struggle with, because one of the greatest mistakes in program design from an annual or multi-year perspective in sport is that they want to do their sports-specific activities all year long. You see, the coach wants to see it every week so they can have the emotional confidence, yes, we've got it. And I say this, if we see it on the training paddock, guess what? We're probably not going to see it in the competition. So if you have to see it all the time, you're not going to see it when you're there. Great question.
Basic supplement recommendations, what's your guys' approach on that?
Yeah, great question. Food comes first, no question about it. However, it is our belief, and I believe I speak for all the coaches, that what we're eating now and what our grandparents eat is not one and the same thing. From probably 2 or 3 perspectives. Number one, your mineral content in the soil is significantly different, and you can check any map on the Google for that. We don't have the soil that was there 2 generations ago. Number 2, the food processing and manufacturing methods. In other words, is your food chemical free? Is it drug free? And is it GMO free?
Right, yeah.
So there's not many foods left. Then we get into nutrient quality based upon age of the food. And people tell me if they get everything they need from their food, I say, you're an amazing human being, good luck to you. No, they're fantastic, but because whatever you believe. The majority of people will go to a supermarket to buy their food. And the supermarkets do a very good job of presenting them very well, but they're not very good food. For example, in Australia, the 2 main, the duopoly in Australia, one of the companies is called the Fresh Food People. It's hard to keep a straight face about that one. It sure looks really nice because that's a chemical approach to make it look good. The whole focus is so it looks good on the shelf. But it's probably not going to age. You could probably leave it outside for about 3 years and it'll still look the same 3 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but the difference now is that our supplement approach is first about helping the body heal itself. So the dominant approach in sport is to go for the performance enhancers. And more than that, the latest trends, but I'll come back to that. Our entire approach in the body is helping the body heal itself and helping the athlete be the best they can be. So the fundamental approach we start with is more of a cellular approach. We want to help the cells be protected from the oxidative process of breathing, training, pollutants, etc., etc. So we use pretty similar recommendations to what Bill Starr was talking about in the mid-70s. ironically, I think Bill Hatfield was significantly influenced by those recommendations. So my attitude is if you're not willing to take the multivitamin we recommend, we're not going to have any further discussion about supplements with you because you're kidding yourself. And that's a tough gig because most athletes, all their friends are taking, you know, product X, Y, and Z, and the marketing is so strong that they're starting at the wrong end. So it goes health, injury prevention, and then performance enhancement. If you can't get the first one right, don't about the second one. So we do very little in what people think is traditional performance enhancing stuff. You know, most of the physical preparation gurus will tell you, you know, take product X, Y, and Z, take 1.2 grams 3 times a day, standing on your nose at a temperature degree of 5 degrees. You know, all that sort of crap. It sounds very esoteric and great, but it's just bullshit. Because you have to get the fundamentals first. So it's a pretty broad answer. We're wrapped with the product that we use. So are 700 sponsored athletes globally. More athletes at Olympics use the product that we use at athletes, and we've been using it since about 98. So we've been using the same product now for 16, 17 years.
Okay, and that's the sample you gave us?
Yes.
When we got here?
Yes.
You saw them, is that how you said it?
That's right. So we experimented with that between 98 and 2000. We tested it at a pretty high level and it passed the test. I mean, I could go on forever about the benefits in terms of the athlete's not going to get positive vitamins, etc. But the bottom line is, it is the single most performance enhancement product you can take. But it's tough to understand because everyone's mind is so forward marketing. They don't understand that if you accelerate recovery, if you protect cells, that you actually get a better performance enhancement than anything else. So we make significant changes to athletes' health and their recovery and their performance using the protocols that we use. But we don't stray too far from that product range.
Okay, excellent. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's focused on the highest quality food that you can get is chemical and GMO-free as possible.
Yes.
And then to compensate for just the reality of the lack of minerals and depletion of the soil, that a good multivitamin, multi-mineral thing like you saw in that is like step number one.
Yes. Yes. Step number one.
Cool.
We've got some pretty strong tools in the toolbox with that product range in terms of different conditions and from a regulatory point of view, we're not meant to talk about health conditions and what the impact on, but I'll give you an example. So many people have allergic reactions or histamine conditions, bronchitis, allergies, etc. that affect their breathing, and we've got some stuff that just get them off their benzene, etc. So on that subject, our goal is nobody takes drugs in terms of we don't want them on any form. There is no free ride with a drug. So many people are on some form of prescription drug, for example, and there's ways to remove that. And obviously we don't need painkillers. See, most athletes are using so many painkillers. Most elite athletes are using so many painkillers that their doctors usually stop, and they've got to go and obtain them on the black market or go to multiple doctors to get their drug supplies. So there's a lot of things that happen that just don't happen with our people. It's a big part of what we do, but we don't we don't make a big issue of it. If you ask a question, we'll guide. If you ask a question, then. But I personally wouldn't want to work alongside any athlete who wasn't trusting my recommendations, generally speaking, in that regard.
Mitchell, I have a question. Just within the combat sports in particular, really enjoyed the presentation. No doubt there's a collaboration between a strength and condition coach or an athletic preparation coach. Is the combat athletes that I've trained, I didn't know enough about the art itself, so I was collaborating with the coach and his training, and the commercial reality was that he was taking fights to make a living, and it really blurred the lines between when are we transitioning to a break here, when the guy's got a family to feed and whatnot. So within the art of coaching an athlete like that and their preparation, how much did you allow an adjustment to the phases?
It's not my decision to determine that. It's a collaboration between you and the person you're working with, and you've got to determine if your value system is such that you'd endorse a value system like that yourself. So I understand that people have needs and etc. And if you look at physical preparation coaches in general, they're very low on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you could even take it a step back further and say, like, why are they even training? Do you know what I mean? Like maybe you would be best, if that's the case, not to train. The second thing is, if you're able to have the influence on this athlete and make the athlete much better, their outcome can be better as such that they are more successful, therefore they get a better return per fight, therefore they don't have to take on fights, you've got people chasing them, there's that flow-on effect with that as well. Does that make sense? That's in the ideal world.
Yeah.
And second, and you use the question allow, etc. It's always a collaboration. I don't control anyone. We influence. You've got control, influence, and acceptance. Like everything falls into 3 categories. When the light goes red, you have to accept it. You can't control or even influence it in the road, right? And the only person you can control is yourself.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's your decision if you endorse that value system. But you can influence them to help him make better decisions. And finally, from the holistic point of view, just from a holistic point of view, you could help that athlete understand where he or she is at the moment and make better decisions outside that as well. Does that make sense? Like, you know, you're doing these things, there's other ways you can do things. You need to look at a backup plan in your family so you're not making decisions based on emotion and need so you can fulfill your potential in sport, because you're not fulfilling it with the value system and the belief system you currently have, and guide them in that area. And that's one of the things we can do at KSI: business, financial, personal, professional. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So there's some perspectives that to hopefully guide you, but it starts with you having a line in the sand and being able to walk. Whenever you're negotiating with anyone, you need to have an exit strategy. And you have to be prepared, like depending, you might, hey, I don't endorse this, I'm prepared to walk away from it, if that's the case. Like, I'm not suggesting that, but to give, it's always about giving the athlete the lesson that they need.
Sure.
And sometimes that's been a hard ask, and other times that's been giving them a cover. It just depends.
Sure. That was the exact situation I ran into, was just incongruent with the way I put it.
Fantastic.
I said, this is just incongruent with the way I want to practice my practice and my training. And so we parted ways on that.
There you go. Here's where I can help you, here's where I can, you know.
But that, you can't help it. I felt like, is there anything else is there another way I could have
Look,
maybe salvaged it?
There probably is. There probably is. I've done some things with athletes. I'll give you an example. Athlete at the last Olympics did very well. He came back, all the sponsorship stuff was going to happen, and I pulled him aside and said, look, you know, you've got all these opportunities, blah, 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 but I'm going to set you up with one so that, you know, you're going to be okay if you're prepared to learn some new skills, open to learning some new skills long term. I'm going to get you started just in something, and we'll see, you know, and he's very grateful for what's been done. He has the potential of an additional income stream down the track. Does that make, if he wishes to step into it? So the things you can do, and I've done that with a number of athletes, and they're very grateful for it. So we guide them not just there, but in other areas as well. But you have to master towards mastering those areas so you can open those opportunities for them.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, I have another question. Yesterday, you mentioned you were working with a rugby team, and they were for 2 weeks after the exact same, but you told them don't train. And they're like, what? So when you say don't train, I'm just trying to make sure I understand exactly what you mean by don't train. I assume they're still doing their tension reducing. So I guess like for me, when you say train, is the line in the sand like tension producing activities? I want to stay away from those, but I'm still having the tension reducing activities in the program.
So sometimes you have to talk in a way that you know the interpretation outcome. So if you're training 20 hours a week and I say don't train, how many hours a week are you going to train?
Well, I mean, if I'm paying, I'm going to train 0 because I trust
Well, realistically, I mean, you understand where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So it's not a literal interpretation, but it's very close.
Right, no, I just wanted to clarify that.
That's the most important thing you're going to do. You're going to recover from your travel, you're going to recover, and you're going to be in the best shape for the next event. And you need to stay in contact with the skill execution, but the volume will be so low that you think you're not training. So you're bringing them down here in the minds to allow them to come back up in here. The quickest way to make a change is exaggeration. So you're exaggerating down, getting them really uncomfortable, and then they come back, allow them to slip back up in here. It's just a strategy, but it's a good starting point.
Okay.
No, it's a really good question.
And then, Chair, we were talking earlier about, during the presentation about the different sports being high volume. So I was wondering, how do you try to embrace that, even including the GPP? So if if it's wrestling, judo, boxing, or Muay Thai, or kickboxing, or jiu-jitsu, all of those are high volume sports, not including the running or the sprinting, just the actual art itself. How do you put that in maintenance into a GPP?
It depends on the level of qualification of the athlete. So they're very high skill activities, and high skill activities generally requires repetition to learn, right? And during that learning stage, it needs to happen. I'm not suggesting that you don't ever do high volume. I mean, if you don't practice wrestling, if you don't practice striking in the manner that they've traditionally done for a period of time, you're just not going to get better, right? And get to mastery. But once you're towards that point and other areas are lacking, you need to pull those things back and concentrate on the areas that need improvement, and then bring those things up and bring the other ones down. And that's the point of planning, if that makes sense. So you'd be surprised how low you can go in doing those things in a GPP to get the most benefit down the track. So we're not suggesting don't do them at all, but suggesting bring it right back.
Don't worry about losing it and work on the weaker ones and bring that up, and the overall training effect will be much greater.
Down the track.
The GPP within the art.
Exactly. And if you do lose it that quickly, you never have it. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Like seriously, if you've been practicing for so long and you're on low volume for 8 weeks, or just an example of time, you've done it once a week, and all of a sudden you've lost everything, you never had it.
Yeah, I should never do that.
Yeah, you'll get it back. In actual fact, you'll be so recovered and motivated, and your body will be so hungry for adaptation, you'll be surprised how quickly it comes back. Really surprised how quickly. Then, because you've trained in areas that transfer well, that the sport can't provide itself, but you've done outside the sport to get the adaptation in it, you'll be surprised how much stronger, recovered, more flexible, more free you feel moving where it happens to be. And wow, then that gives you positive reinforcement to go again and do another GPP.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
One other question for John. For the nutrition we were talking about the other day, you're mentioning about decreasing the carbohydrates but increasing the fats to lower your body fat. How do you figure out how much fat do you know what I mean? How much fat do you add in while you're taking down the carbs?
Well, what I like to do is I give like a base calorie count, and I do my protein calculation first, and then I do my carbohydrate calculation next. And then I just, with the fat, whatever's left, I have them eat that much fat.
That much fat. Can you
And
go
then-
more, or the fat you gotta be pretty close as much as the carbs?
As far as fat goes, it's a lot of a lower impact macronutrient than carbs go, so you can handle a lot more. Like, you can eat a bunch of fat and get away with it and not gain a lot of body fat. You could actually, still lose. Whereas carbs, if you, eat a ton of carbohydrates and your glycemic load is really high, you're more likely to gain a lot of body fat. So, I just take that number and have them eat that much fat. And then when I reduce the carbs, I just have them eat even
Additional
more.
fat,
Yeah, but again, it's a trial and error thing.
And how do you figure out the calories, how much calories you need?
And there's like a base calculation I use, but it's just like, you gotta understand, that's the foundation. And like I was talking about yesterday, every couple of days you gotta, reanalyze and reassess. But typically for, maintenance, you're looking around, and this is based on, if they're already lean, you can go by how much they weigh. If they're overweight, I suggest going by their lean body mass. But in general, if you have someone who's relatively lean and you multiply their body fat or body weight by 15, you're gonna get their maintenance. Anything lower than that, I mean, you gotta try that first, because that could work. They could drop on that the whole time, and you can stick with it, and that's great. And maybe you can even add from there. But a little bit lower than that, like you can go times 14, 13, 12. Anything below 12, if they have to do that, that's pretty extreme. The lowest I've ever gone is 10, and that was in
Are you spending a lot of time like educating people on like how to, I mean, are they measuring their food? I mean, I'm assuming that you're asking people to be pretty precise with these calorie numbers. So I mean, you're not using food journalism. I'm just kind of curious, like how what is you got a person sitting in
I
front of
have
you?
different recommendations for different clients. So like a general weight loss client is gonna be completely different than somebody who's competing for a competition.
Okay.
So with your general weight loss people, you're basically just teaching them what foods to eat,
Okay.
you know? You're just basically teaching them to eat healthy. And the body fat's gonna come off. I mean, they're not gonna get down to, show level, but they don't want to. They don't need to, But as far as someone in competition, yeah, you need to be able to nail it. Because you need to know every single thing they're doing so you know what to change. So yeah, if someone's in competition, they're doing, 12 weeks to a show, yeah, they will measure everything. They'll have a food scale.
So you're meeting a client where they're at, basically, in their journey. They don't even know,
Yeah. Plus, it's what the client is willing to do.
Yeah.
So some people, like, within their lifestyle, their job, their, family, friends, social life, there's some things that they're not willing to do, just as far as like from a quality of life standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to roll with that.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Excellent, so great questions. I believe we've wrapped on this huddle. Until the next one.